I was diagnosed with autism over a year ago, and I still have anxiety about sharing that diagnosis. So I've decided to practice the most likely way I think that conversation will go. And I feel good about the responses that I've come up with, so I'm sharing this in case it'll be helpful to anyone else in my situation. I'm autistic.
You're not autistic.
I can understand why you think that because that's what I thought for most of my life. I had to relearn what autism is and the different ways that it can present before I could come to terms with the diagnosis myself.
I know there's diversity among autistic people. I also know that most people have some autistic traits, and now that autism is trending on TikTok, people take the autism quotient test and they exaggerate their answers, and it says there's a significant likelihood of autism, so they self diagnose.
Actually, my score on that test was indeterminate.
See? You're not autistic. You just want to be because you think it'll make you special or interesting, or you think it'll get you sympathy.
I'm not sharing this because I want sympathy. Sympathy would make me uncomfortable. I'm sharing this because processing this diagnosis is a big part of my experience right now, and I feel more comfortable around people who know about it. When someone knows I'm autistic, I feel more free to act how I want to and not how I feel like I should. Also, I didn't self-diagnose, but I can understand why a lot of people do because it's hard to get an evaluation and it's really expensive.
So you paid someone a bunch of money to tell you that you're autistic? What DSM criteria do you even meet? I mean, obviously you meet the social ones. I won't deny that you're weird, but I have never seen you stem.
I didn't think so either, but I am always moving my legs and flexing individual muscles repeatedly in ways that people can't see, and I was told that that counts. I've come to think of stimming as like a physical action to help relieve the unbearable tension of existing. I wonder if the fact that I sigh over 100 times a day is also kind of a form of stimming.
Sighing definitely isn't stimming. Also, you're literally the least sensory sensitive person I know.
Great point. It turns out that hyposensitivity to stimuli is one of the ways that you can meet the DSM sensory criteria for autism. I've been ignoring sensory stimuli for most of my life, but what feels true is that I am suppressing sensory input because if I don't, it's overwhelming. This became more obvious because I was diagnosed with ADD at the same time, and when I tried taking ADD medication, I had to lower the dose because it was making it harder for me to suppress my sensory input, and the amount of attention that my senses were commanding was completely unreasonable, and it could easily become overwhelming.
Wait, you have autism and ADHD? How many other diagnoses are you going to claim?
Well, obviously, major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder, but I do wonder if a lot of those symptoms just came from being undiagnosed autistic in a world that's not particularly accepting or supportive.
Life is hard for everyone. You're not special, you're just worse at dealing with the things that everyone has to deal with. And you're looking for an excuse for the fact that you've repeatedly failed to find love and belonging. Have you considered that maybe people just don't like you?
I don't want an excuse, I want a reason. Understanding the reasons why I failed to find love and belonging make it much easier for me to accept those failures and respond with compassion for myself instead of shame. And it makes it easier to let go of the need to look for those things in places that I'm not likely to find them. The more I understand myself, the easier it will be to look for love and belonging in ways that make sense for who I actually am and not who I've thought I needed to be. And sure, part of me does like the idea of an excuse that would absolve me of my failures, but that idea matters less and less the closer I get to accepting myself and to understanding and accepting the truth of why my life has gone the way it has. So that's what I think is the most likely response that I'll get, but obviously there are other possibilities that I've practiced. So if people found this one helpful, I'll try to put up some other examples for you.